So the Nigerian Senate was once again thrown into a heated confrontation when a certain Senator Nwaebonyi, representing a Ebonyi North senatorial zone, engaged in a verbal, altercation with Dr. Oby Ezekwesili. This incident occurred during a Senate hearing regarding the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, which is a news that has been in the airspace of Nigeria for quite a long time now. So an event that has ignited debate on gender bias, emotional intelligence, and the conduct of political leaders in Nigeria. So this has called to question a lot of the, both political behavior and as well as the emotional intelligence are really people who are leading Nigeria smart. I'm going to let you watch some of this, a clip of this incident and their response. And I'm going to come back and analyze what my take here is. I would like you to kindly, if you find this valuable, to subscribe to this channel. We are Nigeria. It's a community we are building to kind of spread a narrative of what Nigeria should be, to see the problems that we are facing and how we can solve it so that our voices are not dimmed in the economic worry, in the political abuse that we are seeing, and also that we are making our input as individual Nigerians to the growth and development of our country. So if you are of this tribe, I would like you to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with everyone you think will like it. But then let's watch the drama and I'll come back to give my analysis.
You were already provoked before she acknowledged she told you to shut up.
I was not provoked. Provoked by who?
So what happened?
Well, the fact speaks for itself. You watch the video and you can see what led to the altercation, and which of course at the end of the day led to the vulgar abuse from both of us, because respect is earned, it's not commanded. If you respect me, I respect you. You yab me, I yab you.
You don't think a person of Oby Ezekwesili has earned her respect?
I'm a senator of the Federal Republic. By social stratification, I'm higher than her in this country. Really? She's supposed to respect me. She was a minister. A senator is bigger than a minister.
And a global figure too.
I'm a global figure too.
With the World Bank.
I'm a global figure too. I've been a chairman of World Bank program in Nigeria.
Honestly,
but let me come
Senator,
before we go into that.
Yes. I'm expecting that you would look at that, what happened in that panel, and have maybe some kind of do you regret
Even the
that situation?
How can I regret?
Do you regret that situation? Are you saying that you meant the statement when you said Oby Ezekwesili is an insult to womanhood and a hooligan, and use all kinds of adjectives that are not willing to use? But did you hear what she said first? Can you tell me what she said, which is you recorded before now? Can you repeat what she said? Looking back at that.
Yes. Can you repeat exactly what she said? No, I'm asking you. You interviewed her first, and she admitted here before the whole world that she asked me to shut up. And you heard her also saying that I'm a disgrace to the Senate. What is your reaction to that?
Was that the best way as a senator?
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
Was that the best way to handle that situation in that moment?
No, you have to answer my question first.
No, I'm here to ask.
Is it good, that statement, is it good from her, former Minister of the Federal Republic, addressing a sitting senator, a principal officer of the Senate, inside the Senate building, that I should shut up my mouth, that I'm a disgrace to the Senate? I want you to react to that first before I answer you.
All right, Senator, because of one
No, you have to react to that.
I have absolutely no
Then forget about it.
Let's move this conversation forward, Senator. Dr. Oby Ezekwesili admitted she told you to shut up. She also said you were provoked.
By who?
Already. Well,
she
that's her
can't
account.
speak for me. I was not provoked.
And that's why I'm asking you the question.
Now,
extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. And Oby Ezekwesili is still here with me. Just tell us what happened.
So, The petitioner on behalf of who had to sign Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's petition to the Senate, according to what they call the rules of the Senate, Mr. Suberu Zamaruma, was before the Senate Ethics Committee, and Dr. Abiola Akiode Afolabi, quite erudite lawyer and a woman activist, was there as his counsel. I was there as chair of the global body known as the Women Political Leaders. It's based in Brussels, but it is the global body of all women who have been presidents or who are presidents or prime ministers, parliamentarians, and members of cabinet of countries. So it's the global flagship for women political leadership. And so I was there as a witness on her side, on the basis of the expert knowledge that we have of this issue around the world. It is based on data that this is a problem. 1 out of every 3 women have faced one form of sexual-based violence or the other. And so a lot of countries are paying serious attention to it because it is quite inimical to society. And so in that regard, the petitioner, when we got there, and he and the witnesses were given a seat, then the petitioner started by saying that he had objections on the basis of which he wanted the Senate committee to consider his objections before he would go ahead and engage on his petition. And the Senate committee said, according to the rules of the Senate, we're not here to listen to your objection. We are just here to listen to the petition you wrote. You are the petitioner. It was a long...
And this was somebody who seconded the petition, is that right? Because,
so,
I mean, obviously...
according to their rules...
She signed, I mean, she submitted the petition. She wasn't there.
But she can't sign.
He seconded it.
So he had to sign it. So on the basis of that, there was a lot of rigmarole, and all the senators were doing in that committee was doing everything to let us know that the rules would make it difficult for the right of a citizen who was saying that, number one, I object on the basis of the fact that members of this Senate, especially the chair, had at various times already taken public positions on the petition of my senator. I am her constituent, and I feel injured by what has happened. And number two, I object on the basis of the fact that because of the use of the rules of the Senate as a basis to trample on the rights of my senator, she is not here as the principal witness for me to make this presentation today. And so I want that my senator should be invited. But because you have violated her constitutional rights, ruled against the law, the judicial precedents where a senator cannot be suspended by the Senate for 6 months, I don't have her here. And so he made this very strong case, and the senators still insisted that, in fact, the word they used was, we were serious, we do serious things here. We don't have time for unserious things. At which time I had my hand up and I said, I actually think that that's a wrong use of word. We are not unserious people. And this is a serious matter. And, many conversations carried on. Eventually, the Senate Ethics Committee decided that, based on the fact that the petitioner was saying that he wasn't going to go into his main petition until they assured him on the two objections that he had. They said, and that it meant that we were not ready to engage on the matter. And then suddenly also said, oh, by the way, this matter is sub judice because there are two cases in court. They mentioned the case by the wife of the Senate president, and that on the basis of that, they actually really shouldn't. So it was at that time that Dr. Abiola said, then what was the basis of...
Yeah, what's the point of being here? of convening this hearing?
And while all of that was going on, then this senator, whom I will not acknowledge by mentioning his name at all.
Well, his name is Senator Nwaebonyi.
That's okay. But, you know, he then said, well, if they're not serious about giving any testimony, I am here representing the Senate president as a respondent, and that I am prepared to speak because, you know, we can't continue with this. So I said to him, can you please shut up? Because, I mean, we were just told that we couldn't speak, and you have been speaking without any form of an equivalent treatment. Said we couldn't speak because we were not ready to go into any conversation without the objections being addressed. So when I said that...
So let me just get this. You said to him to shut his mouth.
Yes.
And that was what provoked the Senate.
He was already provoked.
Right.
He was provoked because he spoke...
But it went from being a spark of a tinderbox into a roaring flame.
Precisely. So he was already provoked by the fact that he felt we were not serious.
Right.
He said, in fact, part of what inflamed it was that the petitioner then said, oh, by the way, it is this senator that made a lot of statements about my senator and in words that were not complimentary. So already he was charged. And so on the basis of that, when I said to him, we're talking, so just, hold your peace.
Yeah.
He fled and then began to release all that he released, showing the kind of level of indecorous personalities that we do have within our public space.
That was quite extraordinary, I have to say. I mean, that the outburst and the kinds of things that were said, I would never in a million years have expected that to have happened. Not only...
All right, so you guys have seen that, you have heard the drama, you have heard the guy, what he said. You've also had the side of Dr. Oby Ezekwesili, what he had got to say. But at the heart of this matter lies a fundamental question. And that question is, should a distinguished senator lose control of his emotion of himself over a mere provocation, especially in a formal setting? Isn't there supposed to be a level of honor? Why is a senator called a distinguished if they cannot take comments like will you please shut up? Senator Nwaebonyi's response to Ezekwesili's words, will you please shut up, was an emotional explosion rather than a measured, mature reaction expected of a lawmaker of his standing. Now, instead of maintaining decorum, he resorted to derogatory name-calling, and that is the lowest of it, making statements such as, you look like a whore, you are a hooligan, and you are a shame to womanhood. These remarks were not only unbecoming of a senator, but also indicative of deep-seated gender bias within the Senate. And that is how I look at it. I don't know how you see it. That's what I look at it from the side of it where I'm seeing it. Now, the display of uncontrolled emotion and verbal assault by Senator Nwaebonyi raises serious concerns about leadership maturity and self-discipline in the Senate, in my opinion. In any professional or high-stake settings, such as the Senate should be, emotional intelligence is a fundamental requirement. Even if there is no proper screening that happens before people get elected as senators, as it should be, when you then sit in that place, there should be an aura that then makes you get these values. But it does appear such aura don't exist in the Senate. The fact that he took personal offense to being asked to keep quiet and lashed out in a public forum signifies an inflated sense of self-importance and entitlement, which is something he, emphasized, especially when in his interview at Channels when Sheung was interviewing him. He said, a whole senator like me, a whole high-ranking senator, and what else? He's a principal officer of the Senate. I am higher than her, in all those kind of comments that he made. Now, this kind of reaction only further, delegitimizes the Senate as a respectable institution and exposes the frailties of some of its members when faced with dissenting voices, especially from women. Yeah, and that should be emphasized. Yes, we need to emphasize because of the case in point. Yes. Furthermore, this incident brings attention to the glaring, gender disparity and bias within Nigeria's legislative body. But it's not just in the legislative body, but in this case, because we are looking at the Senate, we just have to narrow it down. We know it is almost everywhere in the Nigeria's political space. Women are, not given the pride of place. They are sidelined a lot. They are, shouted down on, abused, or let me not use the word abused, but the truth is that they are not given the place they ought to occupy, in our political system, in a leadership system. And that is affecting us as a nation, if you ask me. Now, with only 4 female senators out of 109, the Senate already exhibits a significant underrepresentation of women. It may not be the fault of the Senate itself. It is not. I can categorically say it is not the fault of the Senate itself that it has 109 senators, only 4 of them are women. However, the Senate as a body, as an institution, has a responsibility to ensure that that minority is not then emphasized. That minority is not then made prominent by, try its best to give voice to that minority to ensure that they are heard. But that is not what is happening. Yeah. The prior 6-month suspension of Senator Natasha Oby Ezekwesili for her refusal to adhere to sitting instruction, starkly contrasts with the tolerance of male senators who have displayed such worse conduct. Yeah, a video of Senator Godswill Akpabio himself, doing the exact same thing that Senator Natasha did is all over the internet. And the response or the feedback or what he got from the then Senate president was a much more mature response and treatment than what he meted at, Senator Natasha Oby, which is what we then have to, if we want to, which without digressing, now have to say that, look, this could be because there is something underlying, which is what the senator herself then is now alleging. But I don't want us to digress on this video. Yeah, so if Natasha was suspended for 6 months for her actions, then by the same standard, Senator Nwaebonyi should face similar disciplinary measures when the Senate resumes, if not harsher. His behavior during the altercation only exacerbates the problem. When the committee or the Senate committee chairman repeatedly hit the gavel, I think it's the Committee on Ethics, he repeatedly hit the gavel to restore order, Nwaebonyi disregarded it. His microphone was turned off to silence his outbursts, yet he turned it back on, even physically obstructing an attendant from following the chairman's directives. And that is what we could visibly, and anybody who has watched that video would visibly see that happening. Such defiance of Senate authority reflect not just a lack of respect for the institution of the Senate, but also a personal failure to adhere to discipline and professionalism, which he is supposed to. So if the Senate is to uphold its integrity, consistent and unbiased disciplinary action must be taken against all unruly members regardless of gender or rank. Good thing it is the Senate Committee on Ethics that takes this decision, and it is in their committee sitting that this incident happened. So we look to see what that committee will do to Senator Nwaebonyi, given that he is a senator. However, while Dr. Ezekwesili displayed remarkable composure compared to the senator's emotional outburst, I must also acknowledge that she did not entirely uphold decorum either. While her words were not inflammatory, she was aware that telling a senator to shut up would be perceived as provocative, given the societal and cultural context of Nigeria, which is where we are. So we know she knows that. So additionally, she too disregarded the Senate, the committee chairman's call for order when he banged the gavel, which should have been respected by all present. So while she may not have matched, I wouldn't say she matched Nwaebonyi's aggressions, her refusal to yield to the chairman's authority does not reflect the best conduct, either. So I would blame her on that. So this incident serves for me, I think it serves as a broader reflection of a deeply ingrained patriarchal order within the Nigerian politics, where men in leadership position often react with hostility when confronted by assertive women. I would bet that if Dr. Ezekwesili were a man, this senator would not have reacted to him that way. He would not have reacted to her in that manner. Natasha's suspension and the Senate handling of gender-related confrontations suggest an underlying resistance to female voices challenging male dominance in the political space. If such confrontations continue, they may set the stage for an emerging wave of feminist resistance within the Nigerian political landscape, one that could strategically expose the fragility of male leaders when their authority is questioned. Ultimately, this altercation was more than just a shouting match. It was a revealing moment for the state of the leadership in Nigeria. That's what I believe. It highlights the need for emotional intelligence, accountability, and gender equity in the political sphere. Senator Nwaebonyi's behavior was disgraceful and demands an apology, not just to Dr. Ezekwesili, but to Nigerians who expect better from their lawmakers, and especially from one who says he is a principal officer of the Senate. So moving forward, the Senate must address its evident gender bias and ensure that disciplinary actions are applied equally. Unfortunately, what we see in these cases is that the Senate will now come out and issue statements, try to defend this nonsense. Now, regardless of who is offender, so if Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan could be suspended for 6 months, then this Nwaebonyi of a man must also be held to the same standard if the Senate wants to say that they are not gender biased. That is what I expect. So this event reminds us that leadership is not just about holding office. It's also about demonstrating maturity, self-control, and respect for differing opinions. Not everybody is going to agree to what you said, and it's not by shouting that you then make your statement. Maturity demands that you handle yourself, handle your emotions. Take it one step backward and understand yourself first, and then express yourself in a way that brings honor to you, to the institution you represent, and to the words that you speak. So the Nigerian Senate must decide whether it will continue to enable unruly behavior or if it would uphold its dignity by enforcing discipline without bias. This is, for me, the demand of Nigerians, because we are Nigeria, and I hope this is it for this. This is my point. This is my position, and I hope to see you in the next videos. Kindly subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.